Okay.
All right, right away.
All right. All right. Well, welcome and good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. We're so really honored that you would take time out of your weekend to go ahead and join us this morning. Who's ready? If you're ready, drop a one in the chat. You got your Axios, you got your notebooks, you got your pens. Yes, yes. I see more and more people joining on. Wonderful, wonderful. Tasha says one. I'm seeing a bunch of ones starting to drop in here. So we want to get this show on the road because we have a lot of things that we want to cover with you today, and we only have 90 minutes, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So we're going to go ahead and cover some announcements. We're going to share our story for those of you who don't know us. We're going to talk a little bit about mindset. And then we're going to go over the system, the ITT system, invite tool team. And then we're also going to share a couple success stories with you guys. Who doesn't like success stories? Like we, right? We always like to hear from other people as well. And we don't want to sit and listen to us the whole time. So we're again thrilled that you went ahead and took the time to join us this morning. So thank you so much for that. And Brian's gonna go ahead. I love it. Don put it an 11. Don's gonna go ahead and Brian's gonna kick us off this morning with sharing a little bit about us. If
Yeah,
again, for those of you who don't know us.
yeah. For the few that don't know us, I just want to tell a little bit about our story because that's part of our process too. Because people want to hear stories, they're always interested in your story, whether you feel you have one or not. Believe me, you have a story. So ours kind of goes like this. I'm gonna give you kind of the Reader's Digest version of it. But prior to LifeVantage, Holly and I worked in the corporate world. I was an engineer with the phone company. Holly worked for a very large bank. And we're just doing what we've been told to do our whole lives, right? Go to school, get good grades, go to college, and then get a good job and work that job, and try to climb the corporate ladder and achieve goals there. And that's what we were doing. We were busy doing that. Were we happy doing that? Not exactly. So Holly and I, we were dating. We decided we were going to move in together. I gave her my office upstairs, and I heard Holly banging on that desk, yelling at people all day long. And then at 5 o'clock, 5:30 usually, she would come down and vent for about 30 minutes about her day. That's kind of how her day went. So I knew it was her job was tough on her. My job, I was spending 60 hours a week working. I loved my job when I first started it, and then over time, I just feel like I wasn't contributing much to society. I mean, I really liked to help people out. Nobody was calling me up and saying, "Brian, thank you for getting my phone bill right this month." So I just felt like I wasn't contributing a whole lot. I started coaching high school volleyball, and that's something I was very passionate about. I love that. In fact, I started a business around travel volleyball, and we became the largest travel volleyball club in the state of Ohio. And that was more of a hobby that turned into a big business, but it really took up a lot of our time on the nights and the weekends doing that. But it was something I was a lot more passionate about. So we're very, very busy people and doing this. And so you would think that we wouldn't be looking for an opportunity. And quite honestly, we weren't out there looking, but LifeVantage fell in our lap. I had one of my volleyball coaches reach out to me and he said, "Hey, are you by your computer?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I'm going to send you a video link. I'd like you to watch it." So I watched it, and lo and behold, and I bet you're going to guess, it was the ABC primetime video. And I was intrigued because I was into sports nutrition, being a high school volleyball coach. And I really was intrigued by the video, and I watched it twice. And when he called me and I said, "Are you selling this?" And he says, "Yeah, but there's a opportunity here. There's a business opportunity. This company is only a few years old now, and it's there's really an opportunity here to make this a business for you." And I said, I kind of laughed. Absolutely not. I wasn't looking for another project. I'm a busy person. And but as I dug into it, looked into it more, he had a follow up with me many, many times. And I remember standing in my kitchen, and he called me up, and he finally said, "Are you going to do this or not?" And I knew he would understand if I said, "No, I'm not going to," because he knew how busy I was. But what came over me was FOMO, the fear of missing out. I thought this could be huge. And so I said yes. I could have gone either way. I was at a pivotal moment. I could have gone either way, but I said yes. I have no idea how to do this. I had no idea what I would be doing, but I said yes anyway. And I started going to meetings. I became a sponge and just learning more and more about the products, about the business. Holly at the time was not interested. She wondered why I was going away a few nights a week to go to these meetings. She didn't really understand it at the time. And then one day she came down from her office and she vented, and I let her vent about her job and her day. And I said, I'm sorry, I've got to go to another meeting. I'm going to a LifeVantage meeting. And she kind of said, well, why are you doing this? And I remember that moment. I looked at her and I said, you don't get it, do you? She said, get what? I said, this could be a way for you to get out of your situation. And she said, really? And she became intrigued, and then she became interested in doing this. And so she started to come along with the meetings with us. We had no experience in network marketing. We didn't know what we were doing. We just wanted to learn. And so we were doing that. Lo and behold, we did not know a few years later that Holly's boss was going to call her out of the blue one morning and say, no easy way to tell you this, but today's your last day. She got her best performance review ever. She was making the most money she ever did. She was at the peak of her career, and her boss dropped a bomb on her and said, today is your last day. Let her go that day. They sent her a box, an empty box, to put her computer and everything in it and ship it back to the company, and she was no longer employed. Little did we know, a year later, my boss would call me and say, hey, I've got to lay someone off. Will you be okay if it's you? Okay, so within a year, dual income household losing both incomes. So that's why we really say you got to dig that well before you're thirsty, because if we had not found LifeVantage, we would have not been okay. We would have been full of panic and anxiety trying to go out there and find another job so we can continue to pay our expenses. Then little Austin came along. Little Austin, he's 6, almost 7 now. And he is one of the reasons why we did this business too, because we are now present parents for him. We get to go to his school activities. We get to be on the bus for the field trips and do all the fun stuff with him. Just absolutely worth all the work that we put into this LifeVantage business. So that's a little bit about a background of where we were, how we found LifeVantage, and what it has done for us. We've become students of this industry, so I'm really happy that you are all here to learn a little bit about what we've learned over the past 12 years of being with LifeVantage. This has been the best decision we've ever made. I almost said no. Like I said, I almost said no to this. I can't imagine where we'd be now if I had said no to this instead of yes, just on a whim, just on my gut, thinking that I was going to have a fear of missing out on this wonderful journey called LifeVantage. So I know we have people on here that are at various points in their journey. And so we're hoping that you get a little bit out of today's training to where you can further your business, further your journey with LifeVantage here. So that's our story. I'm going to let Holly talk a little bit. We got a few announcements to cover, not many, but I think there's some things that you really need to know of some things that came out recently with LifeVantage. So Holly, you want to take those?
I do. Thank you. And it's not often that Brian shares our story. So it's kind of cool if you listen to both of us share our stories. We both have our own perspectives on what our stories look like and the different things that were pivotal points for us. And so I don't know. I mean, how many of you can relate to when this opportunity was first presented to you? What were the excuses that you were telling yourself as to why you couldn't do this? Were you telling yourself you didn't have the money? Did you tell yourself that you didn't have the time? You were already too busy? You didn't have time for another project? Were you telling yourself that you didn't want to be a salesperson? You didn't know enough people? What were some of the excuses that you were telling yourself when this was first presented to you? All right. But the cool part is that you did say yes, right? You're here, you're on this call this morning. So if you have joined LifeVantage this year, actually, if you've only been with us for a few months, or go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat. We would love to see who is brand new. We certainly welcome you with open arms. You may not realize it yet, but yeah, Tasha, Julie, I love seeing new folks on the team. Welcome, welcome. Um, Again, you may not know what it is that you got yourself involved in, and that's totally okay. But the best part is that we're going to walk you through the simple system that this company has provided. You are surrounded by people who want to see you succeed. Upline, downline, crossline, we all are here. We all have different goals and different aspirations. And so each one of those goals are special and unique to you. And the idea is for people just to meet you where you're at. All right. And so we're going to hop in here, talk about a couple announcements that are really time sensitive, actually. And the first one, if you didn't already know, is you can get a 10% discount code to your new customers and a new consultant. How many of you knew that? Did you know that right now in your back office and in the LifeVantage app, you have been gifted 3 10% customer discount codes and 1 consultant discount code? Okay, now here's the catch. This is the catch. This is for the month of April. This is the catch. Your customer codes will expire on Thursday, April 25th. Okay, your consultant code expires April 30th. Now, the consultant code must be used on an enrollment pack. So please do make a note of that. I know some people would like to just get a start kit and add the products that they want, but you can't use the code on that. They have to pick a specific enrollment pack. I think there's like 6 to choose from now, you guys. There's a lot of different pack options. But you can use it on that. If you haven't already done so, I encourage you to go to the hub. The LifeVantage Hub is an incredible resource. It not only is going to give you social media shareables, like the image that I'm showing you, the little green square with get your 10% off your order, but it has a video of Kristen Cunningham. It literally tells you step by step where to find your codes and how to use them. All right. So if you're at a little bit of a loss, it's all right there for you. So definitely check out hub.lifevantage.com. Well, here's my question to you. How many of you have already used your code? Drop a 2. Drop a 1, a 2, or a 3 as to the number of codes that you've already used since we rolled these out the other day. I want to see some numbers. Anybody? I know some of you are sitting in a room together. Oh, Stacy Zerfoss has already used all 3. Yes, we used all 3. And the consultant that we enrolled actually didn't even want to use the discount code. So we still have a consultant code to use. How cool is that? So Stacy got 3, Brian's got 3. Anybody else? I know you, Daryl and Brooke, you got a whole room of folks. Just raise your hand maybe if anybody's had the chance to use a code yet. So if you haven't had the chance to use one of those codes, and you haven't done so already, I would encourage you, start messaging the people that you've talked to. Those are what I call like the low-hanging fruit. People that had expressed interest in the past and for whatever reason haven't pulled the trigger yet. Those are the folks that you want to be reaching out to. Reconnect with them. Let them know. Say, hey, Joe, I learned about some amazing information and I had to share it with you. We've been chatting for a little while. You shared with me that, you're struggling with XYZ, and you expressed interest in these products, but you hadn't pulled the trigger yet. However, I have the opportunity to gift you a 10% off of your initial order if you wanted to get started. The catch is that it expires on Thursday. Are you in or are you out? If you are, great. I'll send you over the code. We'll get you your shopping cart. We'll get you set up. If not, then that's all right. But I need you to tell me within the next 24 hours, because I have other people that I would like to offer this code to. So see what I'm doing there? I'm really I'm trying to create a sense of urgency. I'm letting them know that I thought of them, and why I thought of them. And I'm really putting them up on that pedestal, right? I want to gift this to them. So the limited time only discount codes, please, this doesn't happen every day. Imagine what your business would look like if you had 3 extra customers and even a new teammate to kick off the month of May.
Yeah.
All right?
And by the way, those new teammates, those new consultants are going to get 3 codes of their own. And they're going to have 7 days to use their customer code, and they're going to have 30 days to use their consultant discount codes. They're going to get 3 of those as well. So the consultant who
Yeah.
enrolled yesterday, he immediately got all 6 codes, and it has the expiration date next to them so that you know. But this is all about urgency. If we gave you a year to use these discount codes, you would probably just sit on it, right? I mean, I would. But if they tell me I've only got 7 days or they're going to expire, we immediately started reaching out to people once we learned that, so that we can get all of them used.
Yeah. So the next slide really, again, you can take snapshots of these. We are recording this, so we will go ahead and make it available. But again, guess where you can find this? hub.lifevantage.com. And so it really just talks about what Brian mentioned. New consultants coming in are going to be gifted those discount codes. The customer codes will be good for about 7 days. The consultant codes, I think they have a longer period of time, but all of those details are in there. And it's, it's just awesome. So make sure you go ahead and use that. So that's really the biggest thing, is the discount codes up and running right away. The second announcement that we wanted to share with you, unless you've been under a rock, you've got the Rise Era Incentive. So the Rise Era Incentive is a way in which you can earn prizes on top of getting paid by simply doing the system. Enroll, retain, and advance, right? We're keeping things simple. Your business isn't going to grow unless you're enrolling people. And the best part, when you enroll folks, you don't want them to just pop and drop, as we call them. You want them to stick around for a while. So it's all about retention and retaining those customers. That is what's going to help build a long-term sustainable business for you, is those repeat customers. Okay. So you're going to enroll customers, you're going to help retain those customers. And then also, if you personally advance to a senior consultant 1, which is 2,000 in gross sales volume. Okay. For those of you who may not know what a senior consultant means, in total volume, that's the 2,000 or higher for the first time. Or let's say you actually help someone that you personally enrolled achieve that, then you'll also earn for that too. So basically how it works is you earn a track for each one of these 3 categories. There are unlimited tracks that you can earn in any given month. And those tracks, the more you earn in 1 month, then the higher the level of the prize that you get. All right. So there are physical prizes, there's gift cards for travel and lodging. There's a lot of great stuff that the company is throwing our way, in addition to the incredible compensation plan that's already in place, the Evolve plan. And the extra thing that they threw on recently was the Rise Retreat. The Rise Retreat for top earners. So if you personally earn 10 enrollment tracks specifically between February and June of this year, you are going to earn yourself a trip to Park City, Utah. And for anyone who has been to Park City, Utah, it's just gorgeous. It is an unbelievably gorgeous place. And the company always does everything top notch. And so you're going to get to be wine and dine and have a fantastic time, and be honored and be put on the pedestal for which you deserve for your efforts for earning those enrollment tracks. So make sure that you're aspiring to that. And then next is, for this month only, the product promotion of the month, a free Rise AM. So remember, keep in mind, these think about this. You have a new customer that comes in, they spend $200 or more. Not only are they going to get the Rise AM, but you could also gift them the 10% off. That's pretty cool. And if you have current customers that are already on a 200 subscription, they're going to automatically get the Rise AM for free. You as a consultant will automatically get it free. Or if you decide to go in and add something else to your subscription, then you can also get that Rise AM for free. So I love that the company is allowing us the ability to sample different products. And the last but not least, the announcement for this morning is really the next company event. First of all, how many of you were in Nashville? How many of you were in Nashville, right? Yes, yes. I see some hands being raised there for Dale and Brooke. I got some. Yep. I got Linda's raising a hand. Katrina says yes in the comments. Yes, I'm telling you, the event was hands down incredible. People were on fire coming out of that event. Don, Julie, everybody. Wonderful. Yay. Congratulations, especially our newbies making a point to be there. That's great. The next company event is actually going to be a virtual event. If you haven't already seen it, it's called Activate Virtual. event. That's going to be Saturday, July 20th. Saturday, July 20th. Again, if you go to your replicated website and you scroll down to the bottom and click on events, it'll list it there. It's free. It costs you nothing to be a part of this virtual event. All right. So I encourage you, go today, register for that event immediately, get it on your calendar, block that time out on your calendar, and also register to host a watch party. Register to watch a host party. So what that means is, like, for example, you've got Daryl and Brooke right now. They got a living room full of people for the training today. I love that. Everybody's coming together. It's just a great culture, having fun. Go ahead and register that you're going to have a watch party. Invite some of your teammates over, or even other local distributors. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone on your team, but get people together, have everyone bring something, have a potluck, and just make it fun. Right? Make it fun. And that's what it's about. It's about supporting one another and learning together, and just making the most of it. So that's what we had as far as of announcements to go through. Who's ready to actually dig into some real meat and potato stuff? Right? Linda's like, all right, let's get to the good stuff. Like, can we just do this already? Yes, love that. So, all right, Brian, I'm going to toss the baton back over to you to kick us off with a little bit of mindset this morning.
Yeah, and we're not going to spend a lot of time here because honestly, we could probably do a 4-hour training on mindset. And outside of the nuts and bolts skills that you're going to need to do this training, mindset is right there. You're going to think differently as you learn how to do this business. I know I have. Some things that I thought were true back when I started turned out not to be true, and you don't know what you don't know. And so you're going to learn some new things, and mindset's a big part of this. So I like this quote: your thoughts become your words become actions, and your actions produce your future. So we're talking about changing your thoughts, and it can be painful because everything that you think right now is based on the experiences you've had through this date. I'm 52, so I've had 52 years of experiences that basically make me think the way I do. And so as I experience new things and learn new things and keep that open mind, I'm generating new thoughts. And those thoughts turn to how I talk, and how I talk becomes how I act, and those actions develop who I am. And they can do exactly the same for you. So there's a couple of just before we get into the nuts and bolts, like I said, we're just going to spend a minute or two on this. But I want to tell everybody right now, there's no better place to be than LifeVantage. There absolutely isn't. And it's not that I'm out there looking. It's just I always want to know and compare. And so I've got a lot of friends in the industry and other companies at success, and I look at what they have, and I'm like, oh my gosh, LifeVantage is so much better than that. And we have so many things going for us that I just absolutely love being here, and wouldn't consider going anywhere else. I mean, you're here at the right time. Even if you've been here for a while, maybe you haven't achieved the success that you're hoping for, the opportunity is still here. It absolutely is still here. So the one of the challenges is not to get distracted with all the other stuff going on. And I hear it a lot of time from team members that are struggling, and they call me because they're finding these excuses that have no bearing on their opportunity. It doesn't matter who's in the White House, guys. I'm sorry. I know it's election year, but if your personal economy depends on who's in the White House, there's a problem. That's a problem. Your economy, your financial future should not depend on who's running for election. I don't care what side you're on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. LifeVantage doesn't care. The compensation plan doesn't matter. Who's in the White House. It's still the same. It doesn't matter your personal experiences. There isn't a checkbox in the comp plan, how many hardships you had. It doesn't care. We all have different hardships. And it just doesn't matter. It's just who does the work. And so we can't get distracted by these things that have no bearing on your opportunity out there. But you have to be intentional with this. I think that's the second point I want to make. You have to come in here with intention. And as we're going, one of the first skills we're going to talk about is inviting. And you have to be really intentional how you approach inviting. For example, I mean, there was when we started, I had developed a mindset that everywhere I went where there was people, I'm going to bring up LifeVantage. I'm going to figure out how to work it in that conversation. because I love what we have. I know there's so many people out there that are going to benefit from it. I got to find them. And so I would walk into a restaurant. I'm like, who can we sit next to? Should we sit at the bar? Because we can always have easy conversations with people at the bar. And I'm looking at the room. We go to a party. I'm like, I don't know those people. I got to find out what they do. I'm going to learn about them and find out if they have some pain that maybe I can help them with. I don't mean physical pain. I just mean pain in general, right? It could be a health issue. It could be a money issue, but I'm gonna find what their pain points are. So you got to go in there with intention, not for you, for them, right? That's a big difference. We got to make it about them, not for your benefit, for their benefit in that. And I'm going to make a point here. My chat box went away, but in the chat, I want you to put a 1 if you're thirsty right now. I know Holly's thirsty. She's taking a drink. I've got a drink right here. If you're thirsty right now, put a 1. If you're not thirsty, put a 2. I'm not thirsty right now, put a 2. And if you're never going to be thirsty again, put a 3. Okay. I'm never going to be thirsty again, ever, put a 3. And I actually expected someone to put a 3 in there, at some point. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Yep. Yep.
So some people, this is the point I'm trying to make. Some people are thirsty right now. Some people aren't. And some people think they're never going to be thirsty again. Okay. Apply that principle to this business for what we have to offer. Because some people are going to be open to what we have because they're thirsty right now or hungry for it, right? They're looking for something. Some people aren't, but they're going to be, right? Maybe in the future, it's not the time for them. And then some people think, nah, never, but we know that's not true, right? We just know that's not true. They're going to. So when we create a list, we're not going to jump into a lot of databasing, but you're going to create a big database, a list of people. Some of those people are going to be thirsty right now. Some of them aren't, but will be. And some of them are going to think that I'm never going to be thirsty, and that's okay. So this isn't for everybody.
Mm-mm.
So also a good analogy is like a waitress in a oh, what do you call it? A cafe or whatever, a waitress, she comes around and she offers people coffee, right? And some people say yes, some people say no, and she doesn't care. She's got the coffee pot. It's like, oh, you want some coffee? Yeah. Okay, here you go. No? Okay. And she goes on to the next person. If someone says no to her, she doesn't drop the pot of coffee, go running into the bathroom and curl up into a fetal position and start crying. She doesn't do that. She doesn't care if you say no, right?
No.
And so that's the mindset we got to have when we offer this to people is we got to, again, some people are going to see it. Some people aren't. We don't care. It's not about us. It's about them. And so we get caught up in some fear and some anxiety, like, ooh, what are they going to think about us? They're going to maybe think we're crazy. They're going to think, we're salespeople or, so all that fear and anxiety gets in our way and sometimes prevents us from going forward. And we don't care. Just like if they may be thirsty right now, they may not be, and they may think they never will be. But honestly, as we approach this with going through our database, the people that said no, many of them eventually said yes. Many of them said yes. I had a guy not even tell me no, but hell no. Hell no, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. Guess what? A year later, he got in and he led me to my second largest leg in my business. Okay. So I don't care if they say yes or no. If they say no, I just move them to the back of the line and I'm going to circle back with them later because they might be thirsty later. Okay. So
I like to say that you have to have skin that's thicker than wet toilet paper.
yeah.
Your skin's got to be thicker than wet toilet. And look, I'm not saying that it's easy, right? It's easy for us to say it, but emotionally, like Brian talked about, when someone says no to us, especially if it's someone that we care about or someone that we were super excited that we're like, oh man, if I could just get them in, and they said no, it takes the wind out of our sails. So I'm not in any way trying to diminish the emotional piece of it. But I think what Brian's trying to prove the point is you got to be able to take those no's in stride. You got to be able to take those not nows in stride. It's okay to be disappointed. That's when we learn to start managing our expectations. And that's something that we could probably do a whole nother training on. Yes. Skin like a rhino. I like it. Skin like a rhino. But it's your ability to be able to take that no and realize it wasn't about you anyway. Don't personalize the no's. It's not about you. They're saying no to the product. They're saying no to the business, and that it's not about you, and be willing to still move on and send that next text message, make that next phone call, reach a comment on that next person on social media, however you're choosing to build your business, and not allow that to prevent you from moving forward, right?
Yeah. I mean, the first mistake I ever made in this, I thought everybody's going to see this exactly the way I did. I thought everybody I talked to was going to be just as excited about it and sign up for the product at least. I learned very quickly that wasn't the case, right? What I
Right.
learned from that experience is I had vision, some people don't. Okay. I had the vision. I saw where this business was going. I saw what this product can do for people. I knew it was the most important product someone can take. Absolutely, bar none. I haven't found a better one yet.
Exactly.
That everybody had to have it, but they didn't have the vision to see it. Okay.
Exactly.
I didn't try to spend my time trying to change their vision. I wasn't going to do eye surgery on them. Okay. I'm just trying to find the people that saw it in there. And the other people, like I said, they go back to the line. I'm not giving up on them forever. I just put them in the back of the line because they may have vision in the future. They may see it. They may be thirsty later. They're just not thirsty right now for that. So
Right.
let's jump into some of the nuts and bolts of this, guys. So let me share my screen again. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so we're gonna start with the ITT because we're gonna touch on these skill sets. These are the most important skill sets. In fact, I think inviting the first one is going to be probably the best skill set that you can foster and develop in there. And we're going to try to break that down and keep it really, really simple in that invite. And then, of course, tool and then team. So we're going to touch on these different skill sets that are part of our system. So, of course, the first one is the invite. So some basic principles going into the invite that you should really need to be aware of. I'm gonna open my chat box again just to make sure. Okay, here we go. Is invite everyone you know and everyone you meet. Okay, your database is everyone you know and everyone you ever meet. Make sure at some point you are intentional about sharing LifeVantage with them. Okay, so there's a lot of people out there. Tons of them. I mean, don't believe me? Go to any store. You're going to run into them, right? There's tons of people out there. Go to social media. I mean, there's hundreds of millions of people on social media. If you're not social media, that's okay. We didn't build this through social media in the beginning. We are a little bit now, but we're doing both. I'm very much stuck into a kneecap to kneecap, belly to belly, nose to nose type of person. I like meeting people in person. I still do it a lot through Zoom. I still feel like I get that personal interaction when I use Zoom. I may use Zoom. Not so much on social media, although Holly and I do find people through social media. It's a great outlet if you know how to use it, but that's not how we build our business initially. It's just how we're choosing to we're doing both right now, right? So it doesn't matter what you choose to use, but my point is there's a lot of people out there, no matter where you find them, social media or in person. It helps to know the tools that you're inviting to, and we're going to go over some tools here a little bit later. But you're inviting them to something, right? You're inviting them to watch a video. Maybe you're inviting them to take a look at some before and after pics that really help with our liquid collagen, right? Maybe you're inviting them to a live Zoom. Maybe you're inviting them to an actual in-person meeting, or maybe you're just inviting them to lunch to talk about it. Whatever it is, you're calling them to invite them to something. So know what your available tools is, and we're going to cover that a little bit later. And of course, be excited. You got to be excited about this. If you're not excited, the person you're talking to is probably not going to be excited. But some people, after I talk about this a little bit, they told me later, they're like, Brian, you're so excited about it. I just had to see what it was, right? So it really, really helps to be excited when you're inviting to this. Let's go. Yeah, Holly was doing some things in the. Do you know your neighbors? I mean, do you know we were pro eights in this business and we hadn't talked to either of our neighbors in Ohio about it? We were a little hesitant to. We did, but eventually. But have you
Yeah,
talked to your
they
neighbors
became
yet?
customers. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, they became
yeah,
customers of ours. But again, we just like you, we were nervous. Like you get nervous, you're like, oh my gosh, I live next to these people. I see these people every day. Like, what are they gonna think? I'm in network marketing. Like, what kind of a job is that? And they're just gonna figure I'm just trying to sell them something. I'm like, I'm telling you, if your neighbors don't know about it, if you have people that come in and do work on your house, the pressure washer,
yeah,
the guy that pressure washed our roof. Brian went out, got to talking to him. He owns his own business. He went ahead and gave him some Axio to try because I mean it's hot, right? It's hot. He's out there power washing. He's a business guy. Took the one sip of it and was like, "Oh my gosh, this stuff's amazing." Signed up as a consultant. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that said no to us. So, it's easy to share the win. So, I'm not in any way trying to glamorize anything. I don't even we've had so many no's and people have ghosted us that I've lost count. I don't care anymore. But I mean, we're trying to prove a point. Okay? So our point is do your neighbors know about it? When was the last time you invited them over and did your own little sip and glow party or did like a sip and glow social, as I call it, and invite your neighbors over and say, look, I said, I've got something I've been meaning to share with you for a really long time, but I hold you in high regards. And I've just been a little bit nervous about it, but I would love for you to come over for an hour. Let's go ahead and sip, eat some snacks and have a beverage or two and give me an hour of your time and let's share some stuff. So
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
start.
yeah.
I'm
We
not
set up
trying to
our
hijack your invite. It's just yeah.
yeah. No, I mean that's a good, great story because again, talk to everybody. We signed up the guy who power washed our roof. We signed up the guy who sold us a new air conditioner. Because again, and you said it in the chat, Holly. All business is conversation, and we just start out have a conversation, and they usually bring it up. They're like, "Hey, what do you do? What do you do?" And I said, "Well,
Right,
I
because
used to
we're
be an
both home.
engineer."
Yeah, we're both home. And they're like, what
Yeah,
do you do? What do
yeah.
you guys do that
Uh,
you're home all
our
day?
neighbor across the street here in Florida, he came over one day and he's like, I got to ask. He's like, you're home all the time. Like, what do you guys do? Because he is working his butt off. He owns his own company, but he is working his butt off. He is spending so much time. He has employees to deal with and all these different things, right? So Eric asked for a quick question. Do you recommend snacks, food for parties? Keep it simple. Yes, I have a little bit to drink, but don't put out a big, gourmet spread or anything. We made that mistake too in the beginning. We had this huge Holly baked all day. We bought all this food. We had this great fancy wine and all this stuff. We learned very quickly that's not necessarily duplicatable for people because they're going to come to your party thinking, oh, I don't want to do this. I got to do all this. That's too much work, right?
Right.
But if we have just bottles of water, some Axio
Axio
samples, and
samples,
maybe
maybe some pretzels.
some healthy snacks, some carrots, some celery, with some hummus dip or something. Again, just simple things that people can replicate because if they want to do this business, they're going to watch what you're doing and make a decision if they can do it. So yeah, keep that simple. So when we're talking about inviting, the goals are to pique their interest and see if they're open. That's all we're doing in the invite. We're just seeing if they are open to learning more. And then if they are, we're going to get them to the tool, which is the next step, right? So those are the goals. Keep it simple, guys. We're going to pique their interest. We're going to see if they're open to taking a look. That's what we want to do with our invite. So we're going to structure our invite. And I think this is the simplest way to structure it. And it's really 3 parts. Again, the 4th part is we're going to get them to the tool. That's the next step. But I think the 3 initial parts are we're going to communicate that we found something, right? Think about something that you're excited about that you shared. Like, did you see a good movie? Or maybe a good restaurant opened, right? And you're going to share it. It's like, I found this. I found this great restaurant. It just opened. And I thought of you because you like to eat, right? You're a foodie. You like to eat. You like good food. So, hey, are you open to trying it out? Are you going to go try out that restaurant? You want to go with me next week for lunch? Okay. So that's an example of something we really like. We found, and then we shared it, right? I thought of you because you like to eat. You like new restaurants. Do you want to go with me and eat there? Okay. Or saw a movie, saw a book, whatever it may be, right? You're sharing those things already. Treat this the same way. Don't overthink it because you don't overthink that stuff. You don't. You just like it. You thought of them, and thought you'd share it with them, and then see if they want to do it. So that when you structure your invite, again, don't overthink this, keep it simple, but that's kind of the structure that it follows. So I've got some examples here, and I think I forgot to hit share on this. I'm going to stop share for a second because I think for you guys to hear the sound, I've got to do this. So let me do this real quick. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it automatically does it now. There used to be like a text box in this thing to let me know if you can't hear it, guys. I found this really cool health product that gets your body to do what it did when you were young. Now, I've been taking it for a while and I really love it. I immediately thought of you because you like to keep up with the latest health discoveries. Are you open to taking a look at it? Okay, very simple, and it follows that construct. I didn't go into a whole presentation. I didn't mention oxidative stress. I didn't mention, NRF2 activation. I just found something that's really cool. It's in the health space. It gets our body to do what it did when it was young. I've been taking it for a while. I love it. I immediately thought of you. This is why you're in the latest health discoveries. Are you open to taking a look? That's my invite. Okay, for someone that may be into health, and maybe they're not. I don't even know if they're into health. Maybe I just going to assume that they're into health, right? So that's one example following that construct. Now here's another example. You know, I saw these before and after pictures for a collagen product that were so amazing that I had to try it for myself. And I absolutely love it. I thought of you because I think you'll love it too. Are you open to checking it out? Okay, again, following the same construct. I found something. Okay, I saw these before and after pictures of a collagen product that are amazing. Okay, I thought of you because I think you're going to love that. And are you open to checking it out? That question, by the way, guys, are you open to blank? Are you open to checking it out? Are you open to going to a meeting? Are you open to watching a video? Are you open to? That is the key question that has made us millions of dollars. I can say that is compliant because it's absolutely true. It has made us millions of dollars in this business. That simple question, are you open to taking a look? Okay, so I love using that question every time in my invite because it's a simple yes or no question. And honestly speaking, doing this for 12 years, when I say, are you open to taking a look? Not a single person has ever said no. I'm not open. Okay, if they did, they're immediately disqualified, right? I'm immediately disqualifying them. I know I'm not going to waste any more time talking to this person. I'm like, really? You're not even open to taking a look? Really? It's okay. But no one has ever said that to me. Now, Holly, I know, or she told me one time of an instance where someone actually said no to her. and I was like, whoa, you immediately disqualify that person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to have people who are going to say no. I like to give people an out. So when Brian's given these, again, you can follow the format. Let's be honest. We could sit here and give you suggested scripts all day, but at the end of the day, there isn't a surefire script per se, right? That's going to guarantee that someone's going to say yes. So I love that Brian's giving you the basic format because it allows you to be personable. It allows you to think about that person and why it is that you're thinking of them. And that's so important. So again, if you've got someone who's telling you, man, I am tired all the time. I just have no energy. I haven't been sleeping well. Oh my gosh, all you have to do is say, you know what? I appreciate that you shared that with me because I recently found something that's actually helped boost my energy throughout the day and kept me going. Are you open to taking a look at it? And they're either going to say yes or no. Or you can say, if you are, great, I can shoot you over some info of what it is that I'm using. Or you could say, but if not, no hard feelings. And some people like to have an out on that. So you can slice it and dice it however you want. But I love that Brian's giving you a simple format to follow. We just don't want to, don't overthink it. Give them the choice as to whether or not they want to learn more.
Yeah, I've got one more example to show you. This one's business oriented because quite honestly, in the beginning, especially, I was looking for business builders. I wasn't out there to sell the product. I was looking for business builders. Now I love our comp plan that you can make a lot of money doing either. Okay, but we were all business in the beginning looking for those business builders. So this may be something I had said. Hey, by the way, I found this company that is pioneering a new health technology. It has everything going for it, and I think there might be an opportunity for you and I to make some money with this.
Are you open to taking a look to see if you see what I see?
Okay. So that's an example of something I may have said to a business builder. You know, I thought of you because we can make some money together with this. So I know you're a business person. I know you like new business ideas, whatever that may be. But again, these are just examples. And as Holly said, driving the point home, put it into your own words. I just like that construct of I found something, I thought of you because, and are you open to taking a look? Okay. Just keep it that simple and just do that with every person in your database there. Okay. So that's again, I want to keep it simple. We could do scripts all day, but like I said, you shouldn't follow scripts. Just follow that format, put it into your own words, and you're going to absolutely blow up this business if you say those things to every person in your database, guys. So the next, obviously, we're inviting them to a tool. And there's lots of tools out there that you can use. There's only probably 3 or 4 that we actually use in our business. Everybody has their preferences on what they use. So you don't have to use 10 different tools. Just pick 3 or 4 that you think are going to resonate with your prospect and share one of those with them. So Holly, I'm going to flip it over to you and let's talk through some of these
Yeah,
tools.
before you change the screen,
Oh,
well,
sorry.
you can have that. No, you can have that one up. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I would love, are you guys getting any value from this so far? Yes. Have you felt like you got 1 or 2 little nuggets, hopefully? So I'm seeing some hearts in the group, some thumbs up, or, feel free to drop a 1 in the chat. I keep reverting to 1. I don't know, put your favorite emoji or something in there. Let's have some fun with it, right? We got some favorite food emojis. I love the food emojis. So, but when it comes to the tools, and again, don't take this the wrong way. I just like to say, don't be a tool, use the tool. Okay. Don't be a tool, use the tool. No matter how much you know, I love it. I'm getting some thumbs up. I'm seeing some check marks, 100%, get some hand claps. Yes. Screenshots. Don's taking screenshots. I love it. If you guys would like us to make this slide deck available to you, how many of you would like us to make the slide deck available to you? Yes, yes, or yes. Okay. We will not only upload the replay, if you can give us a day or so, we'll upload the replay and share it in the team Facebook groups, but we'll also make the slide deck available for you as well. Okay. So you'll be able to have that and you can go back to this. But I want to remind you throughout this entire process, when you're building your business, you are simply a connector. You are a connector. You're not meant to be the expert. Right? Your objective is to connect people to an expert source, to the tools. Now, for some of us who have been around a while, I'm not going to lie, it's really, really hard, right? The more you learn, the more we want to share because we think like, oh, well, I know this and I know that and I know this, and I want them to know that I know everything. In this business, that isn't going to serve you. Okay. In my corporate job at the position that I was in, when I went and I did a presentation, you better believe I was expected to know all the answers. I was supposed to anticipate any possible question and have an answer for them. I don't need to do that here. That's another reason why I love this business. If people think that they have to know everything there is to know about these products and how we get paid and how to market and all those things, they're not going to do it. The reality is most really good opportunities are disguised as work. and most people aren't willing to do the work, and working works. So you are a connector. If nothing else, make sure you take that away today. You are a connector. So in the comments, what are some tools that you use or you think that you have as a way to connect people to a source? What are some tools that maybe you're already using? ABC video. Brian says the ABC video. Cheryl says that she uses a funnel. A lot of people can use funnels if you're technology, ABC, websites, videos, right? The new videos. I do really like the new videos, actually. I'm not going to lie. ABC video is great, but I want to pique someone's interest first with the new video, and then I can follow it up with where we started kind of deal. Collagen video. Yes. Oh my gosh. So Brian, if you go to the next page, I think you probably have more tools than you realize. Okay. Look at this. Look at this screenshot. There are a ton of tools at your disposal. First off, you've got your website, your own replicated website. The way that the company has truly laid out that website has come leaps and bounds from when we first got involved in this business. And I don't want to sound like that person. I keep referring back to, when we got started. But that's the reality of it. If you guys really understood what you have right now, your website is such a phenomenal resource. Every single product page now features videos. It features FAQs. It has the ingredients. It has the studies attached to those specific products. It's phenomenal. Your website is a fantastic resource. The LifeVantage app, that's another great tool. Company website, same as your replicated website. Again, your upline. Yes, someone even mentioned it. Margie mentioned her upline, right? You've got your upline, sideline, downline, right? You are the owner of your business. Whether the person that enrolled you is still here or not is irrelevant. And I'm not saying that to mean that they're irrelevant, okay? Don't misunderstand me. I'm saying that because you are the owner of your business. Your tools and resources available to you are what you make of them. That's partly why we go to these events. We connect with other people that aren't on our team, and we leverage one another, our backgrounds, our experiences, what's working, what's not working. The product itself, that is actually a tool. People use the product as a tool. You can give Axio samples. You can do the sip and glows. People can taste the collagen. How cool is that? 3-way phone calls, text messages, direct messages, group text messages, Facebook groups. Facebook groups are a great way. You could have a private Facebook group for your customers, or ways to put prospects in so that they can learn about the products and hear other people's stories. It creates that extra validation. Before and after pictures, man, those
I got to tell a quick story on that one, guys, because I sent before and after pictures to a med spa, and they got on a Zoom with me, and they're pointing to it, and they're like, I want legs like that. I want a face like that. And so they were immediately sold on that, just simply using the before and after picture. So I just wanted to share that.
Yep. We always say documentation beats conversation, right? So the shopping carts that are available on your website and in your LV app. I had someone who's actually in another company, different types of products, and she went to go ahead and order some gut health products from us. And I sent, we had already talked about what she was interested in. I sent her a shopping cart, and she goes, oh my gosh, that is the coolest thing ever. Okay. She's like, you just made that so easy for me. I didn't have to go to the site and figure out and find everything. It was already done. Podcasts. You can use podcasts. LifeVantage actually has podcasts that people can listen in and learn about the company and learn about our culture and things of that nature. Articles, blog posts. Company has blog posts, virtual events, Zooms, opportunity Zooms, virtual events, product videos, in-person events. Again, the list goes on and on. So the good news is that you have a variety of tools available to you to leverage. Okay. What I don't want you to take from this is that you have to use all of them all the time. Like Brian said, keep things simple. If you're finding 2 or 3 tools that are working for you, then keep using them. Okay. I do not, and don't take this the wrong way, I do not want you to procrastinate in inviting someone to take a look because you're scared that you're going to send them the wrong tool. I get messages all the time. Oh my gosh, I got this person, da 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 da. What video should I send them? I'm like, well, what video do you want to send them? Right? Don't second guess yourself. Find a couple tools that you enjoy. Don't send them a video you have never seen. I've had people do that before. So send them something that you've seen, you know what's shared, so that you can follow up with them accordingly. All right. So find a couple tools that work best for you. Again, if you go to hub.lifevantage.com, and I believe it's resources, you simply, if you on there, it literally has a whole getting started video, step 1, step 2, step 3, and it'll literally show you first watch video, second touch video, those types of things. if you're looking for something, if you don't have one thing in particular that's tried and true that you're loving, then play around with them. But here's the thing, like Brian said, they're either going to be open and curious to wanting to learn more, or they're not. So I know that people say you really can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I will tell you, at least in our experience, that's 99% true. I mean, you could be completely say all the wrong things and diarrhea of the mouth, but I remember getting started and saying all the wrong things. And I still had people like, I can tell that this is something that you're excited about. Like Brian said, people don't always remember what you share with them. They kind of remember your excitement or how you made them feel. And so that makes a big difference.
Yeah, that was
So
the one I was going to share a quick story because I made that mistake in the very beginning as well. One of my good friends, I invited him out for a beer to talk about this. I started talking, and when I was done talking to him, I looked at my watch. I had been talking straight for 2 hours. He did not get a word in. I was me just having diarrhea of the mouth, like you're talking about, just vomiting all over him. Guess what? He didn't sign up, right? Because he's like, man, if I got to know all that and I got to say all that to somebody, then no, I don't want to do this business, right? So I learned very quickly, like these tools are so valuable. They can say so much more than what you can. And they say the same thing every time, right? They don't say anything different. They say the same thing every time that you play that video or you share that website, you share that tool.
They do. It's hilarious. I do still love the ABC primetime video. I don't necessarily use it as my first touch. If I'm talking to someone about product, if I reach out to them and say, "Hey, I thought of you because you shared that, you've been struggling with your energy levels and I found something that works for me. Are you open to taking a look?" Then I'm going to shoot them over, obviously, a product video, right? Specific to that product. So there is some rhyme or reason to it. You don't want to send them a product on the business if you're talking to them about the product. Eventually you'd like to share the whole story, but just be mindful of the tools. But there's so many available to you, and within the app, as well as at hub.lifevantage.com, there's social media assets. So if you're a person that likes to promote on social media or like to have the nice images and you're like, I can't create things, I'm not a good marketer, whatever, the company has those available to you to use as well. So here's some tips on the tools. I know, tips on tools. I'm giving you some tips on tools. If you haven't already done so, save your personal consultant ID number and your web address, your personal URL in your phone. I have an iPhone, so I have what they call notes. So I have a page of notes where I have my ID number, I have my website. I also have a cheat sheet on that same page of the videos that I like to send. How many of you have had someone say, yes, I'm open? You're like, oh, you're scrambling. You're like, oh my gosh, okay, wait, where did I find that video that I liked? And oh, I remember that was such a good one. And then how many of you have done that, right? You're like, I don't remember where I found, yeah, I see hands raised. I don't remember where I found that video. You're scrolling through the Facebook groups. You're like, oh my gosh, if I could just find that one video. It happens to the best of us. Set yourself up for success by having a cheat sheet of the tools that you like to use and reference, your own personal ID, and your website URL. We've, on countless occasions, I've learned from my mistakes. We've told people, and they try to go into the Google search bar. They try to go into the Google search bar and they try to search you for your LifeVantage website. And they're like, yeah, I went ahead and ordered. And you're like, I don't see that you ordered. Like, oh yeah, I totally did. My orders, blah, blah, blah. I got the email. And they end up in someone else's organization under somewhere else, or they ended up ordering straight through the company. Direct them to your personal site. Yes, notes section. Dawn uses the notes section. It's great. It's a shortcut. It's a shortcut. So you don't have to think about it. You just copy and paste and you can text it to them, email it to them, whatever. Have them saved on your phone. Have 3 to 5 individuals that are your go-tos for three-way calls. And I want you to keep in mind, this is important. So you don't need to rely on someone who is a quote higher rank than you to be your validator. You just don't. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. But the truth is that the person that you're talking to has no idea what these ranks mean. These ranks are irrelevant to them. So if you're like, oh, I can get this executive on the line, they're like, okay, that's cool. I don't know what that means. Just connect them with someone who is passionate about these products, who's passionate about the way that we make money, and who's willing to share their story and to let them know that they've got something really good here should they want to pull the trigger on it. Okay. So get 3 to 4 folks, 3 to 5 people, also put them on your notepad and do me a favor, reach out to those people first. Say, hey, I've always admired you. We seem to get along really well, or I met you at this particular event. I love your background. Are you okay if I put you on my short list as someone to do, third-party validation with? And who knows, they might be able to, you might be able to do the same for them then as well. It's really cool when you've got those people to go to rather than trying to scramble. So again, when you're sharing the tools, and the tools are simply information, again, you're simply inviting people to gather the information that they need to make a decision. Doesn't matter if it's a yes, doesn't matter if it's a no, or not now. You're simply guiding them through the tools to make a decision. All right. So be sure that you're listening, that you're relating to them. Be honest, obviously. You don't want to relate to them if you can't. So I've said to people sometimes, like, I don't know about this, but what I do know is it's okay to say that you don't know, right? You don't have to be able to walk in their shoes. Share stories and just ask them, would you? If I invited you to a live event that's happening this Thursday, would you join me? If yes, great. I'll send you the information. If not, then no worries. It's kind of like, you always got to keep a little something. You want to keep them curious. Don't just go ahead and send a link and say, hey, can you join me on this? No. Okay. You want to pique that curiosity, of course. And you got to hold it like gold. These Zoom links, if you're just sending them out to everybody and hoping and praying that someone's going to hop on, I'm telling you, that's not a good way to use your tool. Ask if they're open. If they are, get them to say yes. Say, great, it's at this time. Can you make it? Yes. Then you can say, great, I will text you the private link that day. You don't even have to text it to them that day. Okay. So or just touch them maybe an hour before the event starts. But those are just a few tips on some of the tools. Do you guys have any questions? I think we're doing pretty good on time before we go into systems. And I know we're going to share some stories with you. And again, we hope that you're finding some value in some of this. We really are doing some high level things, but I think we're also sharing with you some different tips and nuances of the way that we approach our business, because everybody approaches their business differently. Does anybody want to drop any questions? Oh, Brian's telling me we're running low on time. I thought we were doing good on.
No, it's funny because I just felt like we've been talking for only like 30 minutes, but it's been an hour already. So
yeah. So okay. So this is what I would ask you to do. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments, because I have been answering these questions as we're moving along. So if you have a question about a specific tool or a situation, please go ahead and ask those. And Brian and I were going to be tag teaming as we continue through the rest of the presentation. Because again, we're going to be sharing with you. We have 2 special guests that are going to be joining us here towards the end of the call. They're going to be sharing with us their success stories. So I hope you stick around for that.
Yep. So we want to wrap up the ITT process. The last T is connecting with the team. And Holly already did a great introduction into this, tying the tool to the team, right? But there's different options here to connect people to the team. 3-way phone calls, been doing a lot of those with people, especially in our Amish team. Since phones are one piece of technology that they have, we can do 3-way calls. 3-way texts, a lot of people rather text than talk, right? They feel more comfortable doing that. So you can do a 3-way text. You can do the same thing in Facebook Messenger. Zoom, I've been using a lot of Zooms, just getting people connected through Zoom so you can see face. So it's that you get more of that personal interaction through a Zoom. And of course, I prefer face-to-face meetings with people. So we did so many coffee shop meetings, so many lunch meetings. in the beginning of this, talking with people. I still prefer that method if they're local. It's just, you know, people aren't local so much anymore. So that's where Zoom or some of these other tools really help out with connecting people with the team. Facebook groups, okay? There's a whole method. If you have a Facebook group with people talking about products or people talking about LifeVantage, that you can connect them in that group so they can see that from other people that what you're saying is true, right? Because that's the whole purpose of this. The whole purpose of this is you want someone else, someone other than you, to validate what you're saying, share their experience, and offer that social proof about the products and the business. That is the goal of connecting with the team. They have to hear it from someone other than you. It doesn't matter who it is. It just doesn't matter. They just have to hear it from a stranger. And I often use this analogy a lot because if I love shoes. Holly knows because I have more shoes than she does. And I go to a shoe store and I try on shoes. Who knows more about those shoes than the salesman? The salesman can tell me all about them, right? Tell me why they're great. But if a complete stranger walks up to me and says, man, I love those shoes, and they walk away, I'm buying them. I'm buying them. It doesn't matter, you know, how much knowledge the salesperson has. I had social proof. I had a stranger walk up to me and say, wow, I like those shoes. Proof. They validated what the salesman's telling me, and they offered that proof that you know, they like them, right? So I'm buying them. So the same thing applies here. They got to hear it from a stranger as well, because it's going to elevate their belief in what you're saying tenfold in that. So that's how we do that. So here's some examples, right? Let's say they ask a question. They say, you know what, I watched that video. What are the ingredients to this, and how exactly does it work? Great question. I'm going to open up a chat. Jamie, she's my friend and business partner. She's an expert on this. Hang on. Okay. Great introduction to like a three-way call or a three-way chat into that. So maybe they didn't ask a question, and maybe you're just talking about it and you followed up with them to find out what they liked about the video that they saw or the Zoom that they watched or whatever. And you're like, you know, by the way, you got to hear JB's story. She's had massive success or results on the product. I'm going to get her on a quick three-way call, and I'm going to ask her to share that story with you. Okay. Another good example of just how to connect them with the team and get them on something like a three-way call. All right. Holly already covered some of this. Have 2 or 3 teammates. She said 4 to 5. That's probably even better on standby. Set up that group text. Say, hey, I'm going to follow up with some people. Who's going to be available for a three-way call today? All right. Just give them a heads up. And also, this is very, very important, guys. When you connect your prospect with the expert, you know, your upline or crossline or your friend, whoever, business partner on this, make sure you know how to do that introduction. And so you don't make it awkward, because it's really awkward. I've been on some awkward three-way calls where one of my consultants said, oh, you know, hey, Brian, this is Joe, this is Brian. And that's all he said. And I'm like, that's awkward. Okay. I don't know anything about Joe. They don't know anything about me. So you've got to edify, you've got to tell them and me about them, right? Or your expert. So you can say, Brian, this is Joe. I work with Joe. He's got three kids. He hates his job. He's really looking for a way to make some extra money. He likes to travel. He wants to take his kids, his whole family on a vacation. And that's a burning desire of his. Joe, this is Brian. Brian's been doing this for some time. He's had some success. He's got some great stories, and I'm sure he'll be willing to share those with you. Okay. Just something as simple as that. Just do that introduction so it's not awkward when you get them on there. So that's very crucial, very, very important when you do that three-way call, or even if you're doing it through text or messenger. So those are some tips there too as well. Bonus tip. I love this. Guess what? You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If you are inviting them to a Zoom that someone else is presenting at, you're doing tool and team at the same time. I love that, right?
Yep.
They get to meet some of the team on the Zoom. So you're already doing that social proof. They're doing that validation of what you've already told them, what you've already shared with them, that it's true, right? So that's why I love, other than an in-person meeting, my second thing is like, get them on a live Zoom or even a recorded one. Doesn't matter. They're going to get the same thing out of that in terms of the validation from a third party on that, guys. So that's a little bit, a team, just a little nugget here from another mindset standpoint. Neither success or unsuccessful people want to do the work. The difference is that the successful people do it anyway. Okay. Holly said it before, a lot of people are afraid of success because it's disguised as hard work, right? and so we've got to do this work. This training may be great. You may be getting some stuff out of it, but it's meaningless unless you actually want to take it and apply it and do the work anyway. Real quick, we're not going to dive real deep into the comp plan, guys. There's so many great videos on there. So there's a website at the top of the screen, or you go to your replicated site and just put /evolve at the end of it. And there's so many great videos. The company did such a great job of putting educational videos and tools together that explain the compensation plan for you, that we're not going to replicate that here. I'm going to do some very basic things because I think it's very, very important that you understand an easy way to explain to people how we make money. Okay. I don't want to overwhelm. What'd you say?
I said, show me the money.
Yeah, show me the money, right? And just do it very, very easily. So I'm going to do a couple of examples because most people don't, they may want to make tens of thousands of dollars a month with this so they can, do what they want to do, right? But most people don't believe that may be even possible. And so some people have smaller goals because it seems more real to them. I had a guy, Holly and I met with a husband and wife one time, and I was showing him the Jeep and the money and all this. And he put his hand up and he said, no. And he said, show me how to make $500 first. Okay. And I appreciate that he did that because that was where he was. He just wanted to know how I can make $500 with this. And so just keep in mind, a lot of people we're talking to, they don't believe that the big money's possible. Some people do, right? We want to show them everything, what's possible, but keep in mind, some people, their goal, they just want to keep it small and real at first. So some people we talk to love the products and they're considering to be a consultant, but all they want to do is make enough money to cover the product that they're purchasing. And I already let the cat out of the bag because I was going to ask in the group, if you're on the Healthy Glow Stack, how many customers do you think you're going to need to cover the cost of your Healthy Glow Stack? I asked Holly this question at dinner last night. I said, Holly, because I did the math already. And I said, Holly, how many customers do you think? And her first guess was 12. She's like, I think you're going to need 12 customers on the Healthy Glow Stack. You actually need 5. I'm already showing the answer here on the screen. You need 5 people on subscription on the Healthy Glow Stack to cover the cost of your Healthy Glow Stack. That's not a lot, guys. That's 5. Can you get 5 people on a Healthy Glow Stack to cover the cost of yours? And here's how the math works. And this is the educational part of it to understand how our comp plan works. There's 2 components to this: sales profit and sales bonus. So there are 3 price points for every product. There's the consultant price, subscription price for customer, and a full-blown retail price for a customer. So for the Healthy Glow Stack, that full retail is $220. Subscription price $198, consultant price $176. I rounded up, okay, on the prices. So you as a consultant get paid the difference between what they pay and what you pay as a consultant. So if they're on subscription, that's $22. If it's a retail, it's $44. Of course, we want them on subscription because you're going to make that each and every month that they're on subscription, that $22. That $44, that's one time, right? They're paying full-blown retail unless they come back and pay full-blown retail again, which I think would be dumb, right? They could save money just going on what I love to call a hassle-free subscription. It's hassle-free. They can cancel at any time if they want to. They don't even have to talk to anybody. They just log into their account and hit cancel or move it out a month or take a product off or add a product to it. They can do whatever they want, right? So you get paid a sales profit, which is the difference, and then you'll get a sales bonus, assuming that you have enough sales volume to earn that sales bonus. So in this example, if you get 5 customers on a Healthy Glow Stack, the sales profit, you take 5 times 22, that's $110. And guess what? 5 times the SV value, which is 140 for the Healthy Glow Stack, that's 700. That's going to put me in that Onyx tier for a sales bonus, which is an extra 5%, which is, in this case, in this example, is going to be an extra $70. That's $180 per month. That's covering my $176 cost. Okay. 5 subscription customers, not a lot. Now, some of you say, well, I got my site's a little bit higher. How can I make $1,500, $1,400 with this? Well, let's take it down. Let's say it's not the Healthy Glow stack. Let's say it's just the collagen, just the 30-day collagen by itself. How many customers do I need to make approximately $1,500? And the answer is 36 if you do the math. So if you enroll 36 customers on subscription, that's 112 SV per one, but that's going to be $18 for every one of those 36 customers, which equates to $648 plus a sales bonus. Well, guess what, guys? We're actually going to maximize this. We're going to be diamond with 36 customers. 36 gives us just over 4,000 points, or 4,000 in SV. We're diamond now. We get an extra 20%. An extra 20% is actually more than the $648. We're getting a bonus of $806. Add those two together, that's $1,454 per month. Yeah, I'm going to drive this home, guys. That's not just the first month. Every month that those 36 customers are on subscription, you're going to get paid that $1,454 every single month, right? Now, some of those customers may fall off, but you're always talking about it. So you may add new customers in there, but if you maintain 36 oh my gosh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Subscription customers on collagen by itself, $1,454. I talk to new people. I'm like, hey, I talked to a guy yesterday. He's a personal trainer. And I said, how would you like to add approximately $1,500 to your bottom line every single month by just a few customers of a product that you're going to love, right? So the money, that money intrigued him. $1,500. This guy working his butt off, training people in their home or in his gym. He's like, man, if I just had an extra $1,500 coming in every single month on top of that, that'd be great. And here we've got a way to do that for him. So I want to show you those two examples because it's very easy to explain this in terms of the sales profit and the sales bonus that they have. Again, if they just want to pay for their product, in that example I showed, you only need 5 customers. Now, depending on the product, it may be 4, it may be 6, maybe 7, but again, we're not talking about enrolling hundreds of customers here just to pay for your product. We're not talking about hundreds of customers to make even $1,400-$1,500 a month. Okay, very simple. Of course, we have level bonuses, right? Because guess what? Some of those customers are going to raise their hand and they're going to say, I love this. I want to talk about it more. Can I make money? And the answer is yes. So they upgrade to be a consultant. Therefore, you're going to get paid a percentage of what they do. Let's say they are half as good as you. And 2 of them. So you're going to get an extra $400 from that extra 10% you get from them. And some of their customers are going to raise their hand and do the same thing. And let's say they were half as good as them. That's going to be another $140 kicked up to you and so on. So you can see how that level bonus can really add up. Leadership match, again, when you achieve MC2, this unlocks this leadership match for you. So any of your MC1s or higher, you're going to get a match on their check. And then we have our leadership pool, of course, which is like a revenue sharing program each month. So you're going to get, once you hit an EC1, Executive Consultant 1, you're going to start unlocking the leadership pool and start getting shares of that as well. So there's other parts of our comp plan. Like I said, this wasn't meant to be an intensive compensation plan review. There's already tools on your website that explain this in great detail. And before we get to our guests here tonight in our last 10 minutes of this final mindset, I think this is important because a lot of people I feel are scared. They have that fear or anxiety. And I love this quote. I don't remember who said it, but they said there's a fine line between anxiety and excitement. And it's so small that you tend to believe that your excitement is actually anxiety or fear. So think about this. When we feel anxiety, is it really anxiety or is it excitement? Because they have the same symptoms, right? Both of them have the same symptoms. What is it really? So do you really think you want to back away from something that could be huge for you? Or are you really just so excited you're about to win? Okay, so think about that. Every time you experience anxiety and fear, ask yourself that question. Am I really fearful of this or am I excited? Is this really excitement? Because again, they have the same symptoms. So let's get into some success stories. I think these folks are on the call, but I'm going to tell the beginning of the story and I'm going to let them finish the story because this should illustrate some basic principles in this business, guys. Fannie Mae Byler, both her and her husband have multiple EC executive consultant businesses in LifeVantage. I did not know Fannie Mae Byler. I knew someone who knew her. So when I got started, it took me about a year or two, and I called up my friend Dave. And Dave, I've known for 20 years. I played volleyball with Dave, and I didn't know he was just on my list, guys. I didn't know that he was into health and wellness. I'd known him for 20 years. I knew he would kind of. I'd see him take some health products every once in a while. I didn't know that he was into health and wellness. I didn't know that he knew someone like a Fannie Mae Byler. He just happened to be someone on my list. And guess what? It took about 10 phone calls, 10 follow-ups with him just to sit down with me and talk about LifeVantage. But after that, after he did, he signed up and he kept telling me about this Fannie Mae Byler that he knew, someone on his list, but he was afraid she was on his chicken list. He didn't want to talk to her because she was already successful in health and wellness, didn't think she would be interested in this. And I told Dave, I said, Dave, I believe Fannie Mae is going to be in LifeVantage someday. Someone's going to tell her about it. Might as well be you. I'd rather her be on your team than someone else's team. And he said, you're right. And so he called her up. She lived in Kentucky at the time, but she was visiting her family in Ohio. And she said, sure, come on over. We're gonna have the family together. Come on over, bring Brian. She didn't know me. And come over and you can talk to us. So Dave and I went over, met the family, and we did what I felt like was probably one of my worst presentations ever. Because I had never been in an Amish home before. I didn't know anybody Amish. I didn't know what I could say, what I could show, what I could share. But I could just kind of follow the process, right? We shared with our hearts. We shared the information. We had a former Amish person as a three-way validator on standby on the phone, and he talked to her and the family. And so that was how I met Fannie Mae Byler and her family. So Fannie, are you on? I think you're on. So
I am here.
Tell us how you got started and why you were excited.
Well, thank you, Brian. I feel honored and humbled to be asked to speak today. And while you were sharing that, the goosebumps ran all over because I was thinking to myself, what if I was prejudged and not actually, what if Brian wouldn't have actually encouraged Dave to actually share this with me, because what it's given us in 10 years has been life-changing. So the goosebumps were all over, and I get chills thinking of missing out. I just want to say hello to everyone, but the way we started out was simply by sharing. And I didn't know how we got paid. I didn't know where the money was going to come from. I didn't care because I actually researched the product and knew it was unique and like something we had never seen before. And I really didn't care about the pay part. I mean, I remember Dave saying like, don't worry about the products. We're going to just, in this company, we're going to make money and this and that. But I was all about the health part of it. And I honestly didn't really care about the paying part of it, but we were ready for a change and excited to see a change come. But the product, back then we just had two basically, which was the Nerf 2 and the, I think it was the anti-aging cream back then. I think that was the two that we started with. And so it was very simple, but it was so unique. It just kind of inspired me to start sharing. And by sharing, didn't mean through social media. It was literally sharing by word of mouth and sitting with people and talking to them. But we had such excitement that we made like Pro 3 the first month, and I think we made Pro 5 the second month. Back then it was Pro 3s and 5s instead of the new terminology. But because we shared with excitement, and of course the checks started coming in, and I still didn't understand anything, and I really didn't still not care about that piece of it. But I am just here to tell you guys, we were excited back then with what we had, but today with what we actually have as a business and these phenomenal products, we are more excited than ever in the history of this company, even though we've been in for over 10 years. Like, you just feel kind of like bulletproof, like you can share it with anybody. It doesn't matter. I mean, with everything we've got in our hands today, there's surely something that they're going to want to try. Is it even the business or with all the different phenomenal products we have? But as a family, because of sharing these uniqueness, it has allowed us options and things that other people dream of usually doing but aren't able to do because of the local jobs or whatever. And it might be simple things, but spending time with your family, dad being home to help cook breakfast for the kids when they were going off to school in the morning, not having that time clock he had to clock into, or as simple as today being able to go to the gym daily with your family, and you don't have to go at a certain time. You can spend the hours or whatever you want because you have other options. So I just want to just inspire anybody. If you're on this today, we heard a lot of helpful tips today. I hope you guys are taking notes. Brian and Holly always do a phenomenal job. Thank you for what you guys do and for all the help and things that you've given us in the last 10 years. But I promise any of you guys, for whatever time that you can put into this company and into yourself and educating yourself and how to go forward is going to be worth your time because it's life-changing. Love you guys. Thank you. And blessings to all of you guys.
Gosh, thank you so much. I just got goosebumps too, because I just, all the times we spent together in the car going and doing meetings and all the fun that we just had at those meetings with everybody, your family and all the families you introduced us to has been phenomenal. And obviously from the pictures that are on the screen, the products work because these pictures are old and you guys look exactly the same, being 10 years later in this instance. So the products do work. You guys are certainly a product of product and testimonies to that. So thank you, Fatie Mae, for being on and sharing that story. You guys are certainly, you and Ben both are just inspirations to so many people. So thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, so I got one more guest on here tonight. I want to tell you the story about how Stacy and her twin brother Mark showed up in LifeVantage. Remember I said before I talked to a guy and he not only said no, he said hell no, he's not doing this business. That guy, I went back, I put him at the back of the line, but I circled back with him a year later and I hit him. He was thirsty. And he's like, you know what, Brian, look, let's have lunch. Let's talk about this company. Let's talk about this opportunity. In fact, I'm going to bring my brother. And so we talked about it. And he said, you know what, I'm going to talk to my friends of mine, and because I think we're interested. And so they signed up. They signed up a gal in Florida that I didn't know. Talked to her. She signed up her girlfriend in Texas. Talked to her. Didn't know her. She signed up a gal in Michigan. I didn't know her. She had a friend there in Michigan that signed up. I didn't know him. That friend had a random person that he connected with in Florida again. Didn't know them. Talked to them. Those are the ones and those were the ones that really got to work. Okay, that's Stephen and Renee Price here in Florida, and we worked with them hand in hand. Okay, how many jumps did I do there? That was what, 8 or 9 jumps till finally we found some folks that really wanted to lock arms and work with us. And so they found a guy, Dr. Rich Petrus and Tippy, his wife. You've probably seen those names before because they are killing this business. They're really good. They're out of West Virginia, and they have a friend. Let's see. I'm missing 2 people there. So you have Jackie out of North Carolina that they knew, and then William Lambert. Some of you know that name. And Jackie and William worked together on this. And then William didn't know Mark or Stacy. Didn't know. I think it was pretty much a equivalent of a cold call. Okay, reaching out to Mark first and showing him what we had, and then Mark and Stacy worked together, and so they got involved in this. And so the point I'm trying to make, that was like 15 jumps, guys. That was 15 levels of people that said yes to this before we got to Mark and Stacy. And so Stacy, are you on?
Yes, I am.
All right, so Stacy's here with us, and I've been working really close with Stacy lately too. But Stacy, pick up the story from there. Why did you guys get involved, and tell us why you're excited?
Well, mainly I got involved because I got to go on a fabulous trip where I got to meet you and Holly and William, actually. So Mark was a consultant. My twin brother was a consultant before I was. He was so excited. He won this amazing trip paid for by LifeVantage to Cabo, right? Is that right?
Yep, it was Cabo.
Yeah, it was Cabo. So not a lot of people know this, but he had recently been confined to his wheelchair. And he told me how excited he was about the trip, and he was worried that he couldn't go. And I didn't want him to ever think that he couldn't travel anymore because he was in a wheelchair. So I told him I would go with him. I would make sure we got everything done that he needed to get done, and he'd be able to travel. Unbeknownst to me, I was going to meet an amazing group of people. I knew Mark was doing something on the side. I just didn't know what it was. Well, I fell in love with you guys and then the product, because Dr. Rich and Tippy worked with me very closely, taught me everything I needed to know. And now I go on YouTube every week and I teach the world, it seems like the world, about LifeVantage products and how amazing they are for everyone. But that's a very roundabout way that I managed to get in, but it was amazing. So I was retired, didn't plan on doing anything, but fell so much in love with the products. I had to keep going, and it was just wonderful.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of people calling you, thanking you, right? Because they've seen health benefits from all these products.
Oh my heavens, yes. It's just, it makes my heart so happy because not only, okay, so we have this on Mark on this because of his muscular dystrophy. This helped him immensely. But then I also found I'm a 6-time brain surgery survivor, so it's made a huge difference in my life. And then we have helped so many people that I get calls from constantly saying, thank you. I can actually get out of my bed now. I can go do this. It's just amazing. Yes.
Yep. And I can tell you that Stacy and Mark used all their customer coupons on pretty much the same day, the other day they came out. It seems like. So that's pretty cool. So Stacy, thanks again. It's an amazing story. We're limited on time because there's so much more to these stories, you guys, but we saw that there's value in hearing from a couple other people other than us that why they're excited and why you should be excited about where you're at in this business. And so we're gonna wrap up this training. I really hope this was helpful for people. That 90 minutes went by so fast, Holly.
Yeah,
but we could do training for days, guys. There's so much to this, but we would definitely want to make sure that we gave you the nuts and the bolts, and hopefully gave you some more inspiration to take action immediately with what you've learned, and especially with those coupon codes, because they're going to expire anyway out there. So if you thought this was helpful, say so in the chat. Again, there's so much more we could cover, but I think that's enough for today to get people the tools that they need and add a little bit of excitement to what you have in your hands.
And you can always find, of course, find us on social media. If you're on Facebook, you can always shoot us a message if you had a specific question that you weren't able to go ahead and ask today, or something burning. But again, we want to thank you for taking the time. You invested in yourself, you invested in your time, and we applaud you for that. We hope that you give yourselves a pat on the back for doing that, right? However, like Brian said in the beginning, that you were here, you invested the time, you took the time. Be intentional with it. All business is conversation. So ask yourself today, and be honest. There's no right. Just be honest with yourself. Don't beat yourself up about it, but just ask yourself, how many conversations do I currently have going on today that could potentially lead to a new customer or consultant in my business? Is it 1? Is it 5? Is it 10? No matter what that number is, ask yourself, will that number allow me to achieve the goal that I desire? That's it. Because everybody's goals are going to be different. For some of you, maybe all you need to do is have a couple conversations. For some of you who are wanting to go big and go hard and have other aspirations, you're going to need to have a lot more conversations going on, right? So please go ahead and take that, hit your number, go out there, and if nothing else, ask at least one person today, just one, are you open to taking a look? And use Brian's formula for that invite. So again, have yourselves a fantastic and blessed weekend. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Fannie Mae, for taking time to join us today and share just a very small piece, because we know that you're going to get to actually probably hear them from the big stage, right? At some point. So you're going to get to hear more of their story along the way. So thank you again. Blessings to all of you, and have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and let's go cash in those coupons.
Thank you, everybody.